Hi. We're in Christianity and the Social Crisis on page 224. And Rauschenbusch has been discussing the extinction of the common lands that were more or less the lot of the Western peoples until the Industrial Revolution. That was the common law that we all took for granted, which was eliminated by the application of what amounts to the Roman law system to the property rights of individuals, and of course that led to the extinction of the common lands. But now he says that our free lands are almost exhausted. This is 1907 when he writes this. We have come to the point where the element of injustice in the system will begin to menace us. The first comers are well placed, but how about those who press up hungry through our ports and through the gates of birth? They'll have the bitter cry of Esau when the blessing had been given to Jacob and nothing was left for him. Those who have the soil have that and their bodies to work it. Those who have no soil have only their bodies, and they must work for the others to get bread. They are the disinherited children of our nation. Of course, in practice, many who now own land will lose it, and many who now have none will secure it. But the land henceforth belongs to a limited number, not merely for use, but for complete possession, and the ever-increasing remnant will have no right in it, nor income from it. What God gave for the support of all will be the special privilege of some. Farmland will more and more come to have a monopoly value. As land grows dear, it will become harder for a young man without capital to secure his first foothold. He will have to mortgage himself heavily or become a tenant. There will be two layers of population drawing their living from the land: those who own the land and those who till it. Our farmers will become peasants. Their prosperity, their hopefulness, and moral vigor will decline, and therewith the moral strength of our nation will be indefinitely diminished. As the monopoly value of farmland increases, it will be a more profitable form of investment for the huge industrial capital anxiously seeking investment. Our rich men will become large owners of agricultural lands. In time, we shall have three layers of population on the land, as in England and Eastern Germany: the great proprietor, the tenant farmer, and the agricultural laborer. And that means poverty and ignorance in the country. This may seem a far-fetched fear to some, just as 30 years ago it seemed an idle fear that our great corporations might come to shackle our political democracy. But common sense and the experience of other nations teach a lesson plain enough to all, except that not unfrequent class which will learn only in the dear school of experience. Already, thousands of our best young farmers are passing over our northwestern boundary to Canada to escape the conditions. If they have the choice between cheap land and loyalty to their country, they choose the cheap land. Already the current of immigration, which no longer finds a ready outlet to the land, is choking our great cities. Already the industrial laboring class is gasping under an increased pressure because the automatic outlet of the workers of the land is being stopped. Yet we are only at the beginning of things. The situation clamors for sufficient moral foresight to avoid the fate of Italy, Spain, or Ireland. The farmers ever cling with the grip of desperation to the land like an unweaned child to its mother's breast. But when they have once been forced from it into the city, it is exceedingly hard to plant them on the soil once more. An agricultural population is hard to recreate. Yet without a sound agricultural population, a nation declines in economic ability and in moral resourcefulness. In the matter of ordinary agricultural land, the monopolistic element inhering in private ownership has not yet made itself felt. But throughout our country, those locations which give the access to special opportunities are rapidly being absorbed. The most beautiful locations along our seashore and on our lakes and rivers are bought up, and the people are fenced out from natural beauty and pleasure. The water rights on which great cities depend for life have to be jealously guarded against hands itching to get at them. The franchises by which the transportation of men, of freight, of gas, of electricity is made possible all rest on the grant of exceptional land rights. The anthracite mines are a striking demonstration of the effect of giving public rights into the absolute ownership of individuals or corporations. The coal stored in the cellar of our great American tenement was intended by its builder for the use of all. A few vigorous boys have secured the key to the cellar on the understanding that they would fetch the coal up for the rest, but they now claim that the entire supply is their own, and charge the tenants not only for the service of hoisting it up, but for the coal itself. They are using the key not only to get coal out, but to keep it in. I think we can't hesitate to say that Rauschenbusch is absolutely prophetic in this section. Put in a link to Martin Hengel's discussion a couple of generations later of property, land, and equality in ancient Israel.